Welcome to Movers Marketing Machine Inside Studios. Here with Sean Stein, the owner of Mother's Touch Movers, and right here in downtown Melbourne. And your office is in Melbourne as well, correct?
Yes, we are also here in Melbourne.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, this is a little podcast for folks that are getting started in the moving business, maybe already have a moving company, and we're going to talk about how Sean grew his business, what he did to market his business, and some of the niche things he does, and some of the things he does inside the community really helps with his growing his company. He's all over the place. Trust me, I've been following him around a little bit lately. He's doing a lot of stuff, and so he does a lot of his own stuff to promote his business. But how long have you been in business?
So I've been in the moving industry for a while, over 35 years. I was actually in high school moving furniture on the weekends, and so I stayed in it, and here I am today, 38 years later, still in the moving industry.
Yeah, you're still moving those couches and stuff every day, aren't you?
That's not happening anymore, Mark. But I got a bunch of great guys who are, and that's a big key to any moving industry or any business for that matter. Is
Absolutely.
Employees.
Absolutely.
Without employees, you don't have a business. So
Yeah.
That's your number one priority is going to be your employees, and then after that, then you can bring the work in. But without the employees, there's no reason to bring the work in.
Yeah, I totally agree. He told me a story about the day a couple weeks ago. We were doing a little toy drive thing, and he was telling me a story about one of his guys that needed a tire, just one. So he took the keys and the guy went to work. He came back, and Sean got him 4 new tires. So he's taking care of his guys. You know what I mean? So that's very important today.
Very important. Yes.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend that no matter what you're doing in the moving industry, you make sure you're going to keep top guys, and the way to do that is to take care of them.
Yeah.
So.
So that wasn't on the list actually of the questions, but that's a huge thing, and I totally agree with him. I mean, it's about who you surround yourself with and people you surround yourself with, because they're going to take care of you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, and take care of your business for sure. So I got a few questions here. We're going to go through them. So we went through how long we've been in the business. So how many trucks do you have currently?
So I have 6 trucks here in Melbourne.
Awesome.
And I got another one on the way, another brand new one being built right now as we speak. Usually takes about 4 to 5 months to build that truck. So hopefully you'll be here right when the key season starts, peak season, beginning of April. So.
And you can fill those trucks, no problem. Huh?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's all, you got to get out there and market it. Because if you're not going to market it, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah. Awesome. So I've known Sean for a number of years, and I think you had maybe 3 trucks.
Yeah, I think so. When I actually started with you, and probably one of the reasons I've bought more is because of you and your service that you do here with Tightline. So
That's awesome.
Appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's retake that again with Movers Marketing Machine. Just so you guys know, Tightline's been a legacy client for a long time, and we brought Sean on, built a website. We just launched another website for him. We incorporated a lot of different things for SEO strategies, including reviews, updated the site, put them on a managed hosting platform. A lot of things we did to try to move him to the next level, to get his site ready to basically be able to stay on the top of Google. That's always been our goal with him. So your target market is what? Where do you go? How far?
My target market is pretty much anyone that's alive. They're alive and breathing, they're moving. Everybody moves. So you can't say there's a different market. You have to go after anybody that could possibly be moving, and that's anybody.
Yeah.
So, but here in Melbourne, we do anywhere in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So you're moving people from Melbourne to anywhere, then from Jacksonville to Melbourne.
Absolutely, because what happens is we do all the work for the retirement homes here in Brevard. So say maybe their kids live here and work for Harris or some big company, and they live in Pensacola. Well, they want to get mom and dad down here closer to them, to a retirement home here. So we'll go to Pensacola, load their stuff, bring them back here, put them in maybe a retirement home here. So we do a lot of moves from within the state to Melbourne, which is kind of an unusual thing for a local company, because usually a local company is going to go out of the city that they're in. But because we're in such a big senior market, we have that market where we're bringing a lot of people from other areas of the state here to Melbourne, where there's a lot of different retirement homes, and that's pretty much in any town in Florida.
This was going to be the nuggets that I was going to ask towards the end, as far as what little special things that he's done. And I actually have been to a lunch and a breakfast with Sean at one of the local retirement communities here called the Fountains, and he's our exclusive mover. So I can tell you one of his little nuggets he's going to tell you is if you're a moving company and you can partner with a retirement home or one or two or three of them like he has, it's a gold mine for you. So because they're always moving, and it's funny because he told me they got the retirement community on one side. He moves those folks, and then sometimes he's got to move them over to the assisted place because now they're getting too old, so they do another move. So you think about that. It's just a lot of.
It's an ongoing thing, and you're right. It is a gold mine. It's a great opportunity. It doesn't matter what the economy is like. When seniors have to move, they have to move. So when I started the business here in Melbourne in 2009, we all know the economy wasn't doing well. So I knew I had to go after that target, and I did. I went into all the different retirement homes, and I got my foot in the door. And like I said, like you said, it is a gold mine because usually you're packing, you're unpacking, you're moving. And it's one of those things where they have to move. It doesn't matter what the economy is.
There you go, guys. So if you're not doing that, here you go. You heard it first. I mean, this guy's definitely going after it, and I've seen it firsthand. There's a lot of people, and they got to move stuff around, and it's they sometimes they got too much furniture, right? I imagine that happens.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. In other words, you'll come and move them to the retirement home, and then 2 weeks later, you'll go back and take the rest of the stuff to storage.
Yeah.
Because the house sold or whatever the case may be. Because usually they're not taking everything out of the house, and usually, they probably lived there for a long time. So what's left, you maybe distribute between family members. You may take to storage. You may take to donation center.
Now, which
is one of the things we actually do. We do offer storage, but we also do donations to help out families here in our community. A lot of people have lost homes and all that due to the economy back then, and when that happened, we started collecting furniture to help them. When they got back on their feet, we would have furniture that we had collected, and we would take it directly to them when they got a new place, whether it be, a whole house load or just a bed, whatever it was. So nice to say that that's slowed down a little bit with the economy doing as well as it is now, but at one point, it was really a tough situation, and so we still do that, but like I said, it's not as demanding as it was.
It's awesome. I can tell you, he's a very giving man. We won't start talking about his toy drive because we'll be here for 2 hours, but he's got a toy drive that's insane. He does a 13-year toy drive that he just does. It's actually insane.
And that's a huge thing about being a moving company. You want to be in the community.
Yeah,
you want to be seen in the community. That community, wherever you're at, is the reason you're surviving. So you need to give back to that community, and that's a huge thing. And to me, a toy drive's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
So we started the toy drive 13 years ago, and we started off the first year with about 150 toys, and now we'll collect over 10,000 toys and help out probably around 3,000 kids here in Brevard County. Insane. And that's like you said, don't get me started on that because that's really big in my heart.
Yeah, we were just outside getting ready, coming. We might have had a beer. I'm just saying before it started, but maybe we'll have a sponsored. Eventually, we'll get a little sponsored table back here.
There you go.
So hell and blazes. So what's your unique selling position? What do you do differently that some moving companies? I know what he does. I'm going to see. I don't know if he wants to give all the tools, the trades away.
Well, I mean, obviously, the name of my business is a Mother's Touch Movers. I've been in the industry for a long time and realized that before I started my business back in 1993 in Atlanta, before I started it, I realized that 70% of all moves are booked by women. So I thought, well, I want to pick a name that appeals to women. So that's where I came up with the Mother's Touch Movers. Well, I also, back in the 90s, there was no Google, so it was all Yellow Pages. So I also wanted something that started at the top of the Yellow Pages, which A Mother's Touch did. So that was very unique back then, and to be honest with you, it still kind of pays off for me. If I go to a chamber meeting and they got a list of the companies that are there, we're usually at the very top because of the A. So, but that's a lot different now. There's no more Yellow Pages, so we don't have to deal with that.
Some other company with a G, I think, is the deal now these days, right?
Pretty much. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
so what I did is I started the business targeting women, and because they do book most of the moves, and then and I'll give it away. I know you don't think I would do that, but
well, it is in
in our logo.
It is in the logo, yeah.
In our logo, you can see we actually have a rose that goes through the movers. It's on the trucks, And at the end of every move, we give a customer a rose for
It's
a
pretty cool.
housewarming gift.
Yeah, the
And,
ladies light up too, man.
And
It's
that's
cool.
yeah, that stands out. You want them to remember you. You want them to remember you because of the great job you did, but then you throw the rose on top, and man, they're going to remember you. I've gone to so many estimates, and the person told me, "Oh, and I can't wait. I hear I get a rose." You know, so
That's
you know,
what he does. That's his client retention there.
Yeah.
That's his tool for client retention. That's something I need to get better in my business at. I mean, he's got something there. He's got his systems in place.
Yeah.
I've been to his office. He's got his systems in place. He's got his folks. He's got his good employees. He's got something that kind of keeps him remember there. So let's talk a little bit about then. What kind of marketing efforts do you do digitally that kind of drive leads? I mean, that's a big thing, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, Facebook is obviously becoming the new huge social media thing, and I think Facebook is great. I think it's more, for me, it's more of a branding thing, and you know as well as I do, in any business, you have to brand it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you got to brand it and then you market it. And I shouldn't. There's no certain order there. You got to do both. But yeah, your SEO, your search engine is huge because Yellow Pages are gone.
Yeah.
And if you look nowadays, and I look at the dashboard every month, and most of them are mobile phones that people are going on, and that's what they're doing. They're Googling movers, Melbourne, Florida, movers, Atlanta, Georgia, movers, Roanoke, Virginia, whatever the case may be. That's how they're finding their movers usually.
Oh, yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to brand yourself. You want the people to know who you are, and then you want them to go to Google movers in that area. And once they see you, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I see them all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Mark, I've always said that if you want to hide a dead body, put it on the second page of Google because ain't nobody looking there.
77% don't go there, something like that. I don't know. Josh Nelson, maybe you can help me out on that. But that's definitely we know that for a long time. That the page run ranking, having page one ranking is huge. And so we've been doing that now for how many years?
Oh, we've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, and kept you pretty highly ranked over the years.
And
you've gone through some changes.
I'm going to be honest with you. My first 4 or 5 years in business, maybe a little less than that, I probably went through 4 to 5 different SEO companies.
Yeah.
And then once I got hooked up with you at Tightline, never had an issue.
Yeah.
And it's
movers marketing machine.
very important that you have that because what I found was there's so many SEO companies out there, and what they're going to do is they're going to promise you the world, and then they're going to start off real good. And if you're not staying on top of that on a daily basis, you'll notice it's dropping a little bit, and they're not keeping up with their end of the bargain, but they've got you on that deal. So you need to have somebody that is adamant about what they do, and Mark, we all know you are. So it's one of those things that your SEO is very important, and I'll be honest with you. There's not a morning goes by I don't get online and Google.
He tells me that all the time.
I do. I Google every morning, different things on moving companies, Titusville, Florida, moving companies, Palm Bay, Florida, moving in storage, Melbourne. I do Google every morning to see where I'm at, and you don't get any calls, do you? Because I'm never complaining.
He's never complaining. True.
I'm all over the front page, and not only just a listing, but we're talking maps, we're talking organic, we're talking
Google business pages he's talking about. Sometimes when I start speaking to you guys, just so you know, when I'm explaining strategies, Sean thinks I can speak Chinese. So he tells me, Mark, you're speaking Chinese to me. So when I get heavy into the analytics and stuff, and he starts going, what the heck?
I just tell him, I say, Mark, I don't understand a word you're saying. That's why I've hired you, okay? You keep producing page one all the time, and I'm good.
Yeah, very cool. Well, that's what we've been doing. And we've added some things.
And like I said, I went through a lot of different companies for the first few years because they would do a good job for the first month or two, and then after that it went downhill, and I couldn't find myself anywhere. So once I did come to Mark, and actually Mark showed me where my web page was wrong, and that was really the key to it. So he rebuilt the web page, and once he rebuilds that web page, obviously everything that needs to be put in there. And that's the key to being on that front page of Google.
It's a true story.
People don't realize that it's all about your web page. If you don't have a good web page, and because Google's got a mind of its own, we all know that, right? And you have to kind of do what Google says, because
you got to lay in there.
They're a lot bigger than we are.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But that's
they
all
got
right.
a bigger studio than we got. That's for sure.
That's all right, though. We still love Google.
Yeah, I agree. They're the king for sure. Yeah, we kind of, you know, looking at his old site that we had built probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. It was still a great site. It was performing. It was performing, but the theme had gotten outdated and it was no longer being supported. And trying to tell your client, hey, look, you know, the theme that we chose a number of years ago is not being supported anymore. They're like, what do you mean? So that was a tough one. And then we also wanted to integrate reviews, because what are reviews now? I mean, is that
Reviews are huge. And here's the thing. With the moving industry, technology is not going to change the moving aspect of it, okay? We need manpower and we need wheels. The wheels were made a long time ago. You need dollies. That's not going to change. What is going to change is going to be your marketing strategy and things like that. And what happens there is with your marketing strategy, yeah, things are going to change. Websites have to be updated. Things like that all have to change. That's the only aspect really of a moving industry that's going to change. Is going to be your marketing standpoint. And that is basically, like I said, you know, you're going to have new things come around, whether it's Facebook marketing, whether it's you need to update your webpage, because once again, I don't know what you're telling me when you tell me those things, but you tell me there's different gigabytes.
We put them on a managed hosting program. So basically, you know, WordPress, I mean, I think they just had an update last week. You know, it goes from 5.2 to 5.3, and then you got plugins that, all these things that he's like, what are you talking about? And trust me, I'm not a designer. But I know that these things, it's just like your phone and your computer, every now and then it's got to get updated.
Yep.
And a lot of people get really pissed when they, you know, all of a sudden your phone updates and things looks differently. Well, it also affects your website the same way. All of a sudden it updates and it doesn't look the same and all that stuff. So you got to pay attention to that. But also it helps you with your SEO rankings. If your site is not loading fast, so we put them on a fast server that's, you know, going to bring his site up fast. We have some video sliders in there that we do. We want to make sure the thing loads quickly and it stays updated. And so our new server host company, we update WordPress as it needs to be, and then the plugins are updated once a month as well. It's backed up daily in case something happens. So that's something we switched to recently too, that we spent a lot of time and effort researching to see who's what. And it was a big move to move all of our sites over. And to be honest with you, it's taken us probably 5 or 6 months, and we're still not done. We probably have another 8 or 10 sites to go, but we're getting there. But his site's now brand new on that server, beautiful, smoking, you know, mobile optimized. And then our review process, we have a system.
Which we are just kind of
getting
started on that. But that's a great new system, and I like it a lot because you actually go to them to get those reviews, you know. And a lot of people, you know, so many people are so busy nowadays, it's hard for them. Oh, I got to go give them a review, and they forget. So if you kind of throw that reminder out there to them and make it easy for them,
that's exactly part of it.
Then that's
huge.
what you want to do.
Correct. Now we just got to get your people to keep following up with us.
And now I just got it. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, we'll help you. We'll help you. Basically, it's a program that we have that enables an email to be sent and a text message to ask for review, you know, the day after the move. So that way we can keep gaining our reviews.
And that helps your rankings too,
Huge.
am I right?
Huge.
I mean, the more reviews you have, the higher your ranking.
Absolutely.
So, and that's really important.
Yeah, we have a citation thing too, which he's not going to talk. Citations, so we basically manage where his citations are. They might be listed on all these different yellow pages, yellow book, all these different apps and websites, and we want to make sure that his listing's correct and the website's correct, phone number's correct, and the, you know, all that stuff. So we have a system that checks
on
that.
Every one, because that happens when you have. Am I right? If
yeah,
like
we monitor
you have a different address here or a different, it
screws you up.
It really screws you up.
Yeah, I've had clients that moved. And then, that they've tried to do a little thing where they would use like a home address to try to get a separate business listing with Google, but they're pretty smart. Eventually they figure that out. So
and that's why I hate moving.
Exactly. All right, so let's see. We got a few more questions here, and I think so. On that, we do have a new system coming. I talked to you a little bit about it. How cool would it be to be able to deliver a video ad to the people that are getting ready to move in the next 30 to 90 days, explaining that, hey, Mother's Touch Movers, the best moving company.
That's a great idea, and that's where I said, you know, that technology is changing so much. That's what you have to be able to change into. You're not going to change the wheel on it, the wheel or manpower. That's all that's needed. Technology won't change that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome because that's what you want. To me, that's direct marketing.
Direct to,
and that's directly to somebody that's moving.
Yep.
And
it's based on
no better advertisement than that.
Because we know they're in the buying. They're buying market right now. They're in the buying market. You know, it's just
so they're not really thinking about a mover at that time. But then you throw that at them, and they go, "Wow, yeah, that's right. Yeah, let's call these guys."
Correct.
So it puts it in their mind, oh, that's right, we're going to have to start thinking about a mover.
Right. And then, if you guys know, I've been around the video side of business for a long, long time, done probably over 5,000 TV commercials and a lot of media buys and media strategies. And if you could deliver that video message to them, because sight, sound, motion, positioning you as the best mover in town, put it in front of the people that have money in escrow, put it in people that just signed a contract with a bank or a realtor, and we're able to do that, and they're going to be moving in the next 30 or 60 days, it's better to put you there as opposed to the next guy. So that's the ability we're getting ready to roll that out too, so that's going to be something fun that we're going to be doing. So stay tuned on that. We'll be talking about that. Let's see. That's that. What we talked, let's go back real quick. You talked about trucks. What box do you use? I know that's something you love to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of different choices. I've been in the industry a long time to know what's best. I'm one of those guys that I like everything to be exactly the same. In other words, I want my fleet to look identical.
Yeah.
And I think that's key because it's more like a branding thing. When you see
right.
3 of those trucks pulling down the road and they're identical.
Yeah.
So I use the Kentucky box. I think the Kentucky box, it's a little more expensive. It takes a little bit longer because it is in such high demand.
Yeah.
The chassis they build at International, they knock that out in a month. And then it goes to Kentucky box. And it takes about 4 months before they get that box on there. Now, they also paint it and all that, my color.
Yeah, his beautiful blue.
Yeah,
and you look at his website, Mother's Touch Movers.
And I'm telling you, that's a key thing. You're a moving billboard.
Yeah,
You know, when I see these moving trucks out there that just have a name on the door of the truck, I'm thinking you're missing out.
Oh, yeah.
You got to advertise. That's a moving billboard.
Like our production van that's not wrapped up front?
You have to wrap that, you know? And I find that, and I know they're trying to save money, but that's how you make money, by spending it.
Yeah.
And you have to spend money to make money. It's true story.
Yeah, you got to have a marketing budget.
And those trucks are moving billboards. I have people on a daily basis sending me texts of them behind one of my trucks or saying, I see your trucks everywhere. People tell me that every day. But you have to make them stand out.
Yeah.
Obviously, my trucks are blue, just like this with the maroon writing. They're the Kentucky box. By far the best moving box there is. You can design them in so many different ways. You can have different doors, different positions on that truck, on that box.
Yeah.
So that's really up to how you want it. I pretty much go a standard box on each truck, and let me tell you, it makes a huge difference when people see that. It looks good. You have to look professional.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I see a ratty old truck out there moving somebody, you think you're going to call them? How many?
I notice that now. Being in close to the business, and it's just I
have
different
so
things,
many of my employees come up to me and say, "Yeah, this lady's going to call." She walked over and said, "Oh, that's the most beautiful truck I've ever seen. We're moving," and they gave her a card.
Now the thing is,
yeah. So and not only that, but had one of my drivers tell me the other morning. He goes, "Yeah, we were over in Orlando, and this other moving company was at the storage unit, and the guy walked up and goes, man, that's like the best looking moving truck I've ever seen, you know? And that's what you want.
Yeah,
you want people to talk about it and to know it, you know?
So
you gotta, I'm a firm believer, I told you once earlier, that your employees are your number one concern.
Yeah.
Number one. After that comes trucks and equipment.
Yeah.
Because without those two, you don't have customers.
Yeah.
You may, but are you gonna keep them?
Sure.
And that's what you wanna do. Repeat business is huge. So employees, trucks and equipment, and then after that, everything else falls into place.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think I think we covered a lot of ground here today. It's been a lot of fun, man. This is something we've been wanting to do. Sean was busy today, had a lot going on, and I wore my fancy shirt, and I'm like, all right, you coming? He was
Once
out.
he told me he had the fancy shirt on, I said, I got to get these drop boxes picked up.
Yeah, he was running around, so it's all good, though, man. I appreciate you coming very much.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me, and I look forward to many more of these. We'll get some people going in the moving industry and let them know what's gonna work for them, because you and I both know what does work, and we're more than willing to pass those secrets out to people because it definitely works, and we want everybody to be prosperous.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
So Facebook Live, see you guys. I appreciate hanging in there. So we had a little Facebook Live, and we'll get the podcast out. But look forward to, we'll be posting this stuff on YouTube as well and all that good stuff. So we'll be sending it out to you. And if you guys want more information about how to move your moving company to the next level, please reach out to me at mark@moversmarketingmachine.com, and we'll see you next time. Peace.